Hey everybody, Yankee here. Today I want to take a moment and talk about Joe Biden pardoning Hunter Biden on the gun charges he was convicted on. Now, this has a lot of people in the gun community saying, well, I don't like Joe Biden, I don't like Hunter Biden, but I also don't support these gun laws that were the basis of his conviction. So I'm kind of torn. And you know what? I also feel that same way. If he had just been convicted of gun charges, I'd be like, these shouldn't even be a thing. He shouldn't be convicted on these. He should be pardoned. In fact, those laws shouldn't exist. Now, I would much rather see someone like Joe Biden actually try to get rid of those laws than just give their own family special treatment, which is more often what we see. You know, politicians and their family very seldom get held accountable to the law. But this pardon was about much more than just the gun charges. See, the gun charges against Hunter Biden were only put to the forefront and made to seem like the biggest issue because they knew it would cause a little bit of mixed feelings in the people on the other side of the aisle who don't support these unconstitutional gun laws. That is really the least of the things he did. And they just wanted that to seem like that was one of the major things he did, like I said, to cause those mixed feelings. Really, the stuff he's guilty of is far worse. And if you pay attention to the pardon, what he's pardoned for, you'll see that. Because not only is he pardoned on the gun charges, which he probably would have gotten probation for, he's also pardoned on, his tax crimes. Where he didn't pay his taxes and he lied on his, tax forms and all these other things. Even though he did get one of his, their billionaire owners to pay off his tax debt, he was facing some time on that. So it also covers that. But mostly what it's covering, the main reason they wanted to pardon Hunter Biden had nothing to do with guns or taxes. It has to do with treason. It has to do with influence peddling. It's him taking information he gets from his father and handing it off to foreign governments through corporations where he sits on the board even though he's not qualified to sit on the board. He's only there and getting big paychecks because he's passing along information. He's influence peddling. He's getting them access to the president. So that's what they're really pardoning him for. That's the real crime. That's what they don't want coming to the front. And now that they've pre-pardoned him for it, it won't. He'll never be charged with these things. And it's not just Biden that wants this, it's all politicians that want this. Because none of them want their family or themselves to be held accountable when they cash in through treason and influence peddling, etc. None of them want anyone that's in their little group of politicians and the politically powerful and the wealthy. They don't want to be held accountable. And they don't even want the other side to be held accountable. Democrats don't want Republicans to go to prison for things like this, and Republicans don't want Democrats to go to prison for things like this because then they'll go when they do it. They don't want that kind of precedent. So the whole gun charges thing with Hunter Biden was just a smokescreen. They could have made that go away easily, but they didn't. They kept it at the forefront so that people could be confused and go, well, all he did was own a gun and maybe lie a little bit on his taxes. No, those are the least of the things he did. The Biden family is extremely corrupt. People talk about how the Trump family is corrupt. Well, of course they are. They're a political family. They're a wealthy oligarchy type of family. So are the Bidens. So are the Pelosi's. All of them are corrupt. If you think, politicians are all corrupt except for the ones I like, well, then you're an idiot. They're all corrupt. And none of them want any of the other of them to be held accountable because that sets precedent for them being held accountable. And like I said, this whole thing about gun charges against him and being pardoned for the gun charges, like I said, that's just so people in the gun community will stand up and go, well, I don't support the gun charges. So I can't support him being convicted on him. If I would support him, he should go to jail on these gun charges, well, I'd be a hypocrite. Because if I sat here and said that, if I sat here and said, yes, I want him to be convicted on these gun charges, and I want him to go to jail, Well, I would be a hypocrite because I would never want anyone else to have that happen. I want everyone else who's a free citizen of the United States to have unfettered gun rights when it comes to the government involvement or government infringement. So I'd be a hypocrite if I sat here and said, yeah, but I want him to go to jail because I don't like him. But that's the least of the problems with Hunter Biden. And like I said, that's what they want us doing. They don't want us paying attention to the fact that he was guilty of things like tax fraud and, more importantly, treason, influence peddling, everything I've said already. Those are the real acts they're protecting him from, and they're using the other things, like the gun charges, as a shield, a smokescreen. So I don't even want to come on here and make a video defending him on the gun charges and saying he should have been pardoned, because I think that's a nothing burger. What he's really being pardoned for is treason. What he's really being protected from by his corrupt father is being held accountable for his acts against this country that his other family members were also involved in. So that's what this was really about, and I'm not going to get involved in the, I'm conflicted because of the gun charges. No, this guy should be in prison at the very least, and this pardon just shows that Joe Biden is just as crooked as any of them. If you didn't already know it, if you're someone on the left, it's like, no, he's a good guy. He's not even going to pardon his son. He was lying to you through his teeth. He did not change his mind. They had this planned all along. If he'd won again and been president again, he probably would have found some way to get him out of trouble through political means. But since he did not win, didn't even run again, he had to pardon him. He knew he was going to pardon him from day one eventually. It would either been at the end of his first term or the end of his second term. So this was going to happen. His son is a traitor. His son is a criminal of the highest level. And he intended to pardon him the whole time because, scum protects scum. And that's what these politician families do, these political families. They protect each other, whether they're Democrat or Republican or whatever. They think they're better than us. They think they should be able to do what they want, like the insider trading, etc., and not be held accountable because they're a better class of people. So if you believe that this is about gun charges or anything like that, it isn't. Like I said, this is just more about crooked politicians protecting their own, and that's what it's always been about, and Joe Biden is just as bad as any of them.